Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us again. I'm your host, Yvonne Gamble, and we are here with the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women. This is our 66th year. And this year, our conversation is about climate change. We're focusing on Goal 13, and that's all the conversations that we're going to be bringing you. So I am the CEO of Sandpeep Financial Group, and we are a venture capital firm. And I'm also the co-founder of Women Leading Change Now, which is a political advocacy firm. And we actually advocate, for women's rights in the political arena. And today I have with me a very, very exciting guest, Fouchina Kirkendoll. She's the CEO of Chronicles of a Favored Woman. I'm not going to give away any of her details on that. I'm going to let her talk to you about that and her topic that she's going to talk on that I'm excited and interesting to understand and know more about. And that is, she says, it's not my fault, but it's my responsibility. So let's see what her perspective on climate change actually is as I bring her up to the show, just to give you a little bit about her and to go into her topic. So, hello, Miss Kirkendoll, and how are you today?
I am fantastic. And how are you?
I'm good. I'm doing very well. It has been a very good week, and we have gone from every climate this week. I think I have talked to someone where it was snowing. I've talked to someone where it was sunny, where it was raining. And so here we are. And where am I speaking to you from?
I'm from Duluth, Georgia.
Okay. And so therefore, so it's sunny. I'm in Atlanta also myself. So
Yes.
we've got the sun shining here on us today. So I think we're fortunate to be where we are. So you are the CEO of Chronicles of a Favored Woman.
Yes, ma'am.
Very interesting. So tell us a little bit about that and a little bit about yourself.
Sure. As Ms. Ma'am introduced me as Fouchina Kirkendoll, I am the CEO of Chronicles of a Favored Woman, and that title is actually my story and my testimony. I'm a survivor of childhood sexual molestation, and as a result of it, I suffered in silence for many years as a young child and also as an adult. But then it got to a point where as women, we get sick and tired of being sick and tired of going through the circles, sick and tired of going through this, sick and tired of going through this. And, it's interesting that I was asked to come on this, and I gladly accepted, because it's not our fault when things happen to us. And that includes climate change. And I wondered, how does climate change, affects me? Well, it affects me in many ways. Now, if I'm going too fast, please let me know. Just stop me, because I know I'm a talker. But I'm just going to roll with it. How does it affect me? First of all, Chronicles of Favored Woman. I have a podcast. It came from a testimony. Being a survivor of childhood sexual molestation, it also triggered many things in me, such as addiction, pain, sex, and many others addiction, and other abuses, emotional, physical, and also mental abuse. It all ties into global change, because think about it. At least 1 in 5 women, and statistics may be more than that now, have been violated, whether it was a young child or being older. As a result of that, so many things, education, Planned Parenting, agriculture, being entrepreneurs and producing crops and farms, all ties in. It all ties in to one thing. What I asked the question was, what exactly is climate change? And I wanted to know the effects of it. And then when I saw, how everything that we go through, the pollution, the waste, how we waste our food or take it for granted. All of that, all of these components, including lack of education, they all tied into climate change. How does that affect me as a woman? Very much so. very much so as a woman, not just me, everyone, because there's an inequality when it comes to climate change and the genders. Okay, we know that climate change could affect us with agricultural, economics, and personal and finances. All of these are usually dominated, with the exception of a few, by the men gender. And the truth of the matter is, as women, we've come up, but the equality is still not there. We're getting there. One day we may even, one day we may even cap or even exceed. But as of right now, we lack in certain things. This comes from, let's talk about I'm going to go into agriculture. I see you on here. Do you have a question for me, Miss Yvonne?
Yes, I do. I'm hearing what you're saying and how the how the change in the climate. Are you thinking in terms of the change in the climate changes attitudes? Now that would changes the way in which we do things, or how we live, or what we do. Is that what you're saying? The effect?
That's exactly what I'm saying, because of our society. My title is, it's not my fault, but it is my responsibility. It's not my fault. One, I was born a woman. It's not my fault how I was raised up, as far as where I had the silver spoon in my mouth, or if I lived in poverty, or whatever the case may be. It's not my fault when certain things happen to me or to you. It's not my fault. But it is my responsibility. Even being a survivor of molestation, it hindered me, because it hindered my self-esteem. It hindered my, how I believed in myself and how I saw others. So when we are affected by traumatic events, it does affect climate change in a very big way, because women, we're designed, and we're nurturers. We're automatically nurturers. So now society is now changing. You have a lot of single women or single mothers that's growing up, and raising these kids, and then on top of raising our children, we still have to maintain the household alone. We still have to maintain the household alone. Now, I could go on so many different spins on this, but I'm going to stick with, it is our responsibility. You may came from a certain situation, but you don't have to stay there. You can educate yourself. You can do more. So let me go back, because I think I went a little ahead of myself, Ms. Yvonne, because I'm excited and I'm trying not to miss everything here. But the bottom line is, let's go back to the creation of the seed, where it starts. When you are, whether it's violated, whether you wasn't raised a certain way, whether you lack the certain resources, whatever that case may be, I'm going to go in and I'm going to dig deep. I'm just going to be personal. I only know what to be me. So that's what I'm going to do at this point.
All right,
so we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about the community, and how women, how sometimes we didn't have an opportunity or the choice of how many kids we want to have, if we're going to be able to, if we want to have kids. Sometimes that was forced on us. We didn't have that. Sometimes it came from lack of education, because they weren't aware, or we weren't aware that there are resources out there that could help, not want to say prevent, but control our environment. Because the more children that we produce, guess what happens to emissions? It goes up. It goes up. Everything goes up. Then that means, guess what? Agriculture is affected by it, because guess what? The kids got to eat, and we got to make sure that they eat. So why is it that we cannot come to the table to put our input in that? The question also is, do you want to come to the table? Because as women, we have to learn to make it our own. And being a single mother, I can only relate to, because I'm a single mother. I can only relate as a single mother. Either I want to stay stuck and stagnant, or I want to get better. But either way, climate change is still going to it's still going to go on. All these global warmings and all of that, it's still going to go on. If we're not educated, if we are not equipped, if we are not ready to take control for ourselves. No, it's not our fault, but it is our responsibility. Are you going to take a part? What part or what role are you going to play about this? Educating our kids, educating ourselves so we can get in a better position to do well for ourselves, but also to provide for our children.
I see that. Okay, that makes a lot of difference. I like what you said, that we have to have we have to come to those tables. And sometimes we have to do that whether we want to or not. And we have to be a part of those conversations, because you're absolutely right, Ms. Kirkendoll. One of the major things that women face, be they single parents or in a double parent household, and that is air quality. Air quality is directly related to asthma and lung conditions. And so many children, grow up with that. And then ADHD, all the different toxins that are in the air, toxins that are in the foods. We have GMOs. And many people don't really even realize or understand, just how, and you talked about agriculture. And that's a part of the climate change. With the GMO, we're trying to, the genetically modified, organisms, we're making synthetic food. Well, the synthetic food has done what? When was the last time you saw a swarm of bees? You may see one or two here, one, here or there, but you don't see bees around pollinating the flowers, like they used to be. And so therefore, when that doesn't happen, you have disrupted, you're absolutely right, the natural order of things. So I like what you're saying, and you're making you're making it very clear, to the people that you have to be a part of this conversation, irrespective of, where, like she said, of where you may have come from or what situation you may have been in. You do not have to continue in that situation. And but what you do have to do is you have to take responsibility. So I'm going to let you go ahead on and continue, because you really have a very good handle on this.
To God be the glory. But what I say is this, it is our responsibility. We can't continue, one time in life, because I'm 50 now, I'll be 51 on Monday. At one time, we used to drag our feet because we always felt like we had time. We had time. Honey, we don't have time anymore. The time is now. The time is now is either, do you want to see change or you going to be part of the change? But either way, it's this thing about apathy, I tell you. And I hear it all the time. Well, I don't vote because I don't think my vote counts. Yes, your vote counts, because even when you don't vote, guess what? You're still voting. So even if we see things going on here with the climate change, with, our education, with our boys and our girls, but particularly our boys, because our boys are needing our men. And so what I'm saying is we have to take accountability and responsibility in doing our part. We have to do our part. Well, how do we do our part, Sheena? Well, I'm glad you asked that. You know what? Educate. And then if you don't know, you find someone who does know, and you absorb it like a sponge. Now, I'm going to say this. I love us as women, but as women, we have a tendency, and men, but I'm just particularly talking about women, we have a tendency of not accepting change or not accepting the resources or help that you desire, because we allow pride to get in. And this is a time right now when we're dealing with climate change. It's not going to get any better until we collectively come together, individually and collectively, to make this happen. A finger, when you see a hand, you see 5 fingers, and they are cool, but when you form them as a fist, it is a powerful blow. And when we come together collectively, regardless of the inequality, just collectively as a whole, but I'm particularly going for our women, especially our single women, because I can relate to it so much. We have to come together, and it starts with a mindset. a mindset. You have to have the mindset, what do I want? Am I okay with this? And if you don't like it, change it. How do I change it? YouTube, Google, find people, groups. Social media is one of the most powerful and free tools you have out there to network, to find out what's going on. And if you don't know, it's a simple ask.
Oh, no, you said something, Ms. Kirkendoll. You said that there's a pride in the women that keeps them from moving forward. Can you, I've tried to wrap my mind around, I never knew that. This is my first time really hearing this, that women have a pride that won't allow them to ask for help.
It's pride and ego, because as women, some women, I'm not saying all women are like this.
Right.
I'm just saying that we have a tendency is when we see people, oh, she thinks she's better than me. No, I don't think I'm better than you. I'm here to help if you want to be helped. But you can have the same resources I can have if you allowed me the opportunity to do it. Don't put me down because I want to do better and you choose not to. It is a choice. It is a choice. And that's what I'm referring to. We all have choices. And we're in the day and era now. We don't have time to be hemming and hawing anymore. We don't. Because not only does it affects us, but it affects everything that's attached to us. Your children, your children's children. This is generational wealth and growth we need to be working towards right now. Learning out the waste. Miss Funny, my youngest son, said, Mom, it's they're wasting their food, or I see plastic out there. So he makes a part to try to do better. Educate them, let them know, yes, you don't have to accept anything less than the best. God made you in a certain way and he don't make any mess. And that's how we have to encourage, we have to lift, and we have to do it for ourselves. We have to do it for our children, and we have to do it for one another, because it increases change. So we don't have time to be worried about, well, she thinks she's all that, or he thinks it. No, we don't have time for that. My thing is, what can we do collectively to make an impact? Because there's always divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. Just remember, as long as there's division, anybody who keeps chaos keeps control. And I don't like people having control over me, unless it's the Lord. Other than that, what can we do to collectively come together? Now, I know everyone is not going to be for it, and I'm okay, but let's work with the ones that are. And I'm here. That's the reason why I have Chronicles of a Favored Woman, because you have people out there who've gone through traumatic experiences. And as a result of it, that has impacted my life in so many ways. The low self-esteem, didn't want to get educated, not feeling I'm beautiful, not feeling I'm worthy. So I didn't feel that my voice counts. We have to get out of that negative thinking. And I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I knew that there's 17 years between my children. Now I have a young one. I have no choice but to get into it, because things are changing now. I was born in the 70s, and we're in 2022? I mean, at one time we used to think, man, that's a long time in the future. Now we're here. We are here. Yeah. And it's only going to get higher. 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 And either you are going to be a complainer, or you're going to be someone who's going to make the change. The question is, what do you want to do? Because life is going to go on, whether you're in it or not in it, and whether you're with it or whether you're not with it.
You're right about that. You're right about that. The day is going to turn into night, and that night's going to come back to the next day. And you need to, have done something to where you have prepared yourself for that next day, for what's coming, for that future that's going to
Exactly.
be coming. I'd like you to just take a couple moments and tell us about the podcast that you do on a regular basis, and the audience would definitely like to hear about that, because you
Oh,
are just such a a passionate speaker. So I can only imagine what that podcast was
oh,
like.
thank you. Thank you. It is, it started off originally as Chronicles of a Fondled Woman. And when I first started, actually, I got that seed birthed in me 2008. I was in a church in North Charleston, and I just started writing, I tucked it away. 2011 is when I found out about Blog Talk Radio. That's one of the vehicles I use. And I created the program, guess what? Out of fear, tucked it away. 2019, it was God pressed it on my heart. You need to do something about this. I gave it to you, and there needed to be something done. And August 11th, 2019 is when I aired my first show of Chronicles of what was once a fondled woman. Once I graduated after a year, someone said, China, you don't live in brokenness anymore. You're now favored. And I was like, that resonated. I was like, you know what? Yes, I am. I am favored. You are favored, or whatever you got going on. You're favored. Just know that. And Chronicles of a Favored Woman is an internet radio show. I also do it with Facebook Live, and it comes on every weekend, Sunday, at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can always catch it when you log on to www.blogtalkradio.com, and then you could just put in Chronicles of a Favored Woman. There's so many podcasts that you can enjoy. But what I love most about Chronicles, I'm here to bring awareness. I'm here to create a safe environment, a comfortable environment, so people can tell their story, because everybody has a story. And that story is meant to be told. And I tell people all the time, when we go out here, once you learn the power of your voice, there is nothing that no one can do, because you'll learn how to step up, to step out, and teach others to do the same. And there is power in you. There is greatness in you, and you need to tap into it. And if you don't know how to do it, sure, chime into the Chronicles of a Favored Woman. I got tons of other podcasts I can tell you to do it. Take the time to invest in you, because nobody's going to love you more than you love you. Nobody. So just remember that. Well, I'm sorry, because you're right. I get passionate. I'm sorry, Miss Yvonne.
Oh, that's wonderful. We love the passion. And that's what the voices of the United Nations. That's why we bring the women together all over the world, and in your local area as well. But we bring them together every year so that we can see what is the status of women, what is going on in their lives, and that we can reach out and help one another, because I can learn something. I've gathered so much here, and I know that our listeners throughout the United Nations in New York, and throughout we touch all areas of the globe, that they're also going to find a nugget, something is going to tug at their heartstrings, and they're going to pull out that podcast, that book, that business, or something, and that they've been holding on for 5, 6, 7, 10, 12 years, 20 years, some of them, and they're going to step forward and step into their greatness, as Mrs. Kirkendoll has told us, that yes, we are great, and that greatness is within us, and all we have to do is step forward and step into it, and step out on faith.
Yes.
And so I would thank you for that. I thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Guest here, with Women Leading Change Now, and we would hope that we can have you back. I like to put the plug in early for next year, because
I got you.
Where you are, and hoping that you are moving forward, and definitely, most certainly, you will be making connections through this. And as Ms. Kirkendoll said, you go out to www.blogtalkradio and you actually just simply do a search
.com.
on
Mm-hmm.
.com. That's right, www.blogtalkradio.com. And
Mm-hmm.
there you'll do a search on Chronicles of a Favored Woman, and she's there every Sunday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard
Mm-hmm.
Time.
Do
And
you mind
she's
if I say one other thing?
yes, please,
Okay.
please do, because you're gonna
Just to
have
let
the
you know.
last word. So
Okay.
I want to, yes. So yeah, you'll have the last word. I'm gonna turn this back over to her, and she's going to have her last her summarization, and then she'll have the last word. She'll tell us one more thing. So we're going to go back to Ms. Kirkendoll, and then she'll close the show.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I thank you for allowing me to come here. I thank you for allowing me to be in your homes, your phones, your laptop, whatever the case may be. Thank you for that opportunity. I find it a privilege and a pleasure when God used me as a vessel. And I love people. I love life. And I let a lot of that go because of insecurities and stuff. And you don't have to do that. Just remember, one of the things I always say is, every day in your life, there's no failure. Success is derives from the ashes of failure. There's beauty in the ashes. There's always beauty. Everything that happens to you in your life is for a reason, and it's used to polish you. Just remember that in order for a coal to become a diamond, it has to be pressured. In order for wine to be made, it has to be grapes, it has to be crushed. Just remember that you got to go through the process, and you can't go around the process, you can't go under the process, you can't go above the process. You have to go through the process, and just know and trust and believe that something good is going to come out of it. Just remember that everything that happens to you is for a reason, and everything, just look at it like this: a test creates a testimony that is designed to help someone going through a testing period, because what they need to see is, if they're going through it, you could be the byproduct, because, hey, I went through it too. Let me show you. Let me help you if you want it, and I'll help you get there. So everything that happens is for a reason. My name is Fouchina Kirkendoll. That's Fouchina, and then Kirkendoll. I can be reached on Facebook. You could just DM me on a message and just let me know you saw this particular show. And then also I can also be reached at Chronicles of a Favored Woman, and this is on Facebook. I'm also on Twitter, so you can reach out to Chronicles of a Favored Woman as well. And I think I said everything. Oh, email. If you need to reach me, I am always open. Please do. I love emails. C as in Charlie, OAFwoman@gmail.com. That's COAFwoman@gmail.com. What I wanted to tell you this, and I'm going to remind you, and I know I keep saying it, but I have to. There is greatness in you. Just tap into it. There is power in your voice. There is peace in your voice. There is love in your voice. There is wealth in your voice. You just have to tap into it. And once you tap into it, don't let it go, because what you want is peace of mind. And once you get peace of mind in your life, you're going to fight like I don't know what to keep it, because now that I have mine, I will not allow anything or anyone to disturb it. But I had to go through the process. We're all going through process, and we will continue to go through the process as long as we have life. Because once you get over one level, guess what? There's another level. There's another level. There's another level. There's a little. But each level is preparing you to go higher and higher and higher to your greatness.